viewers, and I'm just going to get some information from him so that he can inform you guys more about him. Tell him a little bit about yourself. You're a gospel singer, but go in depth a little bit.
Okay, I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. Steve McCoy, songwriter, musician, somewhat minister slash delivered from cancer, been through a rough life. Call myself pretty peculiar outside of being peculiar.
Reading a little bit about you, and I noticed that you were trying to form something called a church without walls.
Yeah.
Can you explain that a little bit? Because I think that people put too many boundaries on church, and that may be the reason why a lot of people are not coming in. But when I read Church Without Walls, I said, wow, great concept. Tell our viewers a little bit.
A while ago, and it's funny, it's very ironic that Pastor Paula White has a church called Church Without Walls. But years ago, I dealt with a mother who was on drugs, and a father who was never really there. And I had a mother who was on drugs who actually had me selling drugs for her, different things. But growing up in the church, I had a decision to do church or do the streets. And I actually did church while doing the streets.
Okay.
So I was a drummer, but selling drugs and different things, fighting and different things. But when I got in church, I found like the church didn't understand what the church was.
Preach.
So they didn't understand that, and I'm giving you the short part.
Okay.
They didn't understand that they were the church. And it's a thing of salvation. It's not a thing of what we look like, how we sound, the hats, the suits. Because what I've kind of found out is the church without walls is outside of the four walls of what we call church.
We'll start shouting up there.
So I met a lot of dudes who understood. They wanted to still hustle. You had a lot of girls who still wanted to strip, who, you know, different things. Some people who still wanted to smoke. But we teach look like church, take on the church mold, but we don't teach accept Christ and let Christ change you.
Yeah.
So there's a church without walls waiting to be the church and still do what they do and wait for God to change their heart. But we're so busy trying to mold them and not let God do the job.
That's
so there's
right.
a church without walls that's really ready to be the church. And I'll even go as far as saying there are some, we always say in the church, we're going outside the church to get the unbeliever. That's not true.
I'm going to get him in the station, and we're going to do a whole show on this, because Second Sundays is for the men, and our brothers need help. Where can they find
Sure. You can go to Stephen McCoy Music Group at gmail.com, or just find me on Facebook. I'm that type of person.
Yeah.
I'm an artist, but I'm an artist because God made me an artist. But first, I'm a man. I'm his man. So if you want to just talk, be real, let's rap, hit me on Facebook, Steve McCoy. That's who I am.
With us tonight, Darian Dennis. Darian Dennis, welcome, and thank you for being a part of the Beat 1650 AM. Darian, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been in the industry for a while as an independent artist. I guess you could say I got my big break, what they call it.
Okay.
Writing One God from a Rick Brown Clark.
Yes.
She took that took me to another
Yeah.
level and sort of got my name up there. Just recently we helped Jonathan on his project with Expect the Great.
Yes.
So-
Great song.
So we're just doing a whole bunch of things. I have an album coming out in 2011 with a worship band called Ashland Avenue. That's at the street where my father's first church was.
Okay.
That's sort of where I grew up, but that's the name of the worship band, Ashland Avenue. It's me on bass and, you know, a couple of musicians. We sing a little different feel than the regular gospel feel,
Okay.
but you know.
Bringing
Doing it.
something different
Yes,
to
bring-
the gospel industry.
Yeah.
So how can they find you if they want to find this CD and hear some more of your music?
God knows all that social network and stuff. Hallelujah. Twitter,
Yes.
Facebook,
Yeah.
Twitter, Facebook,
MySpace,
Instagram,
Black
yeah.
Planet,
Just-
I mean,
what
God.
they say,
yeah.
just Google me.